So now we will discuss the discrete time system described by difference equation. So far we have studied any discrete time system described by the convolution sum, where the convolution sum can be written as k equals to minus infinity to infinity hk x n minus k. In this summation formula, in this convolution sum, if you see that if this Hn is finite duration, Hn is having some finite impulse response. Finite impulse response means on the occurrence of this impulse, suppose we have a system, if we supply this an impulse input, and in response to this impulse input, it is giving some response which is finite duration, means beyond certain finite time limit its output becomes 0. Then we say that this is finite impulse response system. In this situation we say that this system to be FIR system, finite impulse response system. Finite impulse response system. But there are class of systems. Suppose we have a system to which we are giving impulse, and in response to this impulse it is giving infinite duration impulse response, means its impulse response becomes infinite duration, means impulses at the output it is obtained up to infinite duration, and this kind of system is called infinite impulse response system. Infinite impulse response system. Okay. Now you can see from this formula that yn equals to summation k equals to minus infinity to infinity hk x n minus k. If we get infinite number of impulses, then to realize this system by some blocks of adder, multiplier, and here we have to involve some delay elements also. So we need infinite number of such adders, infinite number of multipliers, and infinite number of memory or delay element, which is physically unrealizable. So to realize IIR system by this convolution sum is physically unrealizable. IIR system is physically unrealizable if we wish to realize it using convolution sum. But there is other ways to realize IIR system, that is, it can be realized using difference equation form. So what is difference equation form? We will discuss the difference equation form realization of discrete time system, and for this we need to know what is recursive and non-recursive discrete time systems. First we will discuss recursive and non-recursive discrete time system. Recursive and non-recursive discrete time system. To explain this recursive and non-recursive discrete time signal, we take a example of cumulative average system. cumulative average system. Cumulative average system, what it does, suppose we have a signal generator which generates the signal starting from say n equals to 0, and it keeps on generating the signal, and we have to evaluate the average value of the signal. Okay. Suppose just for the illustration purpose, I am taking the temperature sample of every day, and I am simply adding the temperature of all the days to get the average temperature. Then suppose this is the day number 0, then day number 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then what will be the formula to get the cumulative average? Okay. Yn, the cumulative average will be, we need to add all the value ranging from k equal to 0 to n. Suppose this way we have reached up to n, k equal to 0 to n, all the xk, and then we will divide it by n plus 1, because there are total n plus 1 samples are here. So the things has to be added, things has to be divided by the number of samples. This will give you the cumulative average system. Now, how can we write down this formula? If you see, this can be written as, it is n plus 1 yn summation k equals to 0 to n xk. Okay. And this can be written as xn plus summation k equals to 0 to n minus 1 xk. Okay, it can be broken in these two parts. At very first part I have written xn, and then the term which is related with k equal to 0 to n minus 1. And from this formula, how can it be written? It can be written as n y n minus 1. If this is n plus 1 yn, if this one is n plus 1 yn, then what is this? This is n y n minus 1. Okay. So naturally, to get yn from this formula, it is 1 over n plus 1 xn plus n over n plus 1 y n minus 1. Getting this formula? I will further write it to make you more clear. Yn has now come as n over n plus 1 y n minus 1 plus 1 over n plus 1 xn. Okay. So now yn can be calculated simply by looking at the previous output and present input. Simply if we add the previous output and present input, and we perform this kind of multiplication and division in both, so this way we can realize a system, a very simple system. So how can we realize? If you look, suppose this is input side xn and this is output side yn. Okay. Input output node I have simply marked, and if I pass yn from a delay element, means from a memory, if I keep the previous yn in a memory and I generate it when it is required at the time n, I am generating the previous output over here. So simply this is a memory. So this element, what it does, it generates yn minus 1. Okay. Now this yn minus 1 has to be multiplied by what? By n. So this is multiplied with n. Now this term and this term, if we take 1 over n plus 1 common from here, and now if I am adding this xn and this term, n y n minus 1. Here it is n y n minus 1. At this point it is n y n minus 1. And here at the output of this point we will have n y n minus 1 plus x n, and here we are, if we multiply it by 1 over n plus 1. So, what will be the result? This term will be the result. Okay. So, if you see in the realization that instead of keeping all the previous values, okay, instead of keeping all the previous input values, what we are keeping, what we are staying with is only the past output value. So, this way we have minimized the number of multiplication required, the number of addition required, and number of memory element required to realize the system. And this kind of realization is called a recursive realization of the system. A recursive realization means a realization in which output is feeded back to the input and memory is used in the system. Memory is used in the system. So, suppose if we have to calculate say y0, if you look at the formula, this is yn equals to n over n plus 1 yn minus 1 plus 1 over n plus 1 xn. If we have to calculate say y0, since the system is initially relaxed, it will be x0. If we have to calculate y0 is x0, y1 from here 1 over 2, and y0, to calculate y1 we need y0, previous output is needed, y0 plus 1 over 2 x1, present input is also needed. To calculate y2, if you keep it in this formula, 2 over 3 y1, means this y1 is needed over here. You have to store this y1 in some memory, and this is required when you are going to calculate y2. Okay. And this 1 over 3 and x2, present input is also needed. And this way, if you have to calculate yn, you proceed this way. But in the recursive system, outputs will be calculated sequentially. Means if you wish to calculate y200, so for that you need to calculate y199. To calculate y199, you have to calculate y198. Okay. Output will be calculated sequentially one by one. This is one of the drawback of this recursive system. But its realization is very simple. Realization of recursive system, or realization of a system in the form of recursive system is very simple. So, if we look at the block diagram level, what is a recursive system and what is non-recursive system. Basically, if yn is function of yn minus 1, yn minus 2, and going this way up to yn minus n, and xn minus 1, xn minus m, then we say that this kind of system is a recursive system. And if yn is function of only xn minus 1, xn minus 2, and going this way up to xn minus 1, then this kind of system is called non-recursive system. This is called recursive system, and this is non-recursive system. So, at the block level, if we look at the problem, recursive system can be assumed as these are the input output nodes, and the system is function of the applied input and the previous value of inputs. Since the system is causal as well. For recursive system, this is non-recursive. This is non-recursive. For recursive, the output is function of the previous value of outputs yn minus 1, yn minus 2, and going this way up to yn minus n. And it is function of inputs also xn, xn minus 1, xn minus 2, and going this way up to xn minus m. And we have always a delay element incorporated in the recursive system, and output is fed to the input side. Okay. So this gives the realization block diagram, general block diagram realization of any recursive system. In the next lecture, we will describe the difference equation. How can we realize these kind of systems in the form of difference equations? How can we solve the difference equations using the natural response and forced response method, using the zero input response and zero, the input output expression of which was written like this: summation k equals to 0 to n, and all the inputs starting from n equal to 0 to k equal to 0 to n, they are added, and their average is found. Rather, it should be n equal to 0, 0, 1, and so on. Okay. So just if we rewrite this expression, if we do some mathematical manipulation and rewrite the expression for yn, we will see that yn can be expressed in terms of its past values. Means yn can be expressed as n over n plus 1, yn minus 1 plus 1 over n plus 1, and xn. Yn can be expressed in this way. This we have seen, and this system then can be realized using fewer blocks, using simply a memory element which stores the previous output. And this way we came across with a two kind of system. One is called non-recursive system and other is called recursive system. They are the general class of system. So we have a kind of system in which output is independent, or output is function of the applied, presently applied, or previous inputs. From no way output is function of past outputs. But we have another class of system in which output, present output, is function of the combination of possible past outputs as well as present and past input. This kind of system comes under the category of recursive system. So recursive system are basically identified by the delay element or memory element present in it. Okay. So just now we will study that how a linear time invariant system can be characterized or can be described by a constant coefficient difference equation. How a linear time invariant system characterized by constant coefficient difference equation. And just to clarify the different terms involved in this difference equation form of the representation of system, we will take a very simple system, and the block diagram of that simple system is given as, suppose we have input xn and output yn is obtained over here. So simply a previous version of output is stored, or you can say that it is obtained by applying this delay element, and here we are obtaining yn minus 1, and this is then multiplied by a and feed it to the added to the input like this, and this way yn is obtained. So yn is basically, yn can be written as, it is summation of a y n minus 1 plus xn. This way you can describe yn. Now suppose if I say that what will be the solution of this equation, this is called difference equation form of this system. Here the solution is given implicitly in the equation itself, but to get the explicit solution, what is the way? Either we have to propagate through the process of recursion. So let us find out what will be the explicit solution of this difference equation using method of recursion. Method of recursion is one of the easiest way to find solution of difference equation. So we will start finding the solution from y0. What will be the output at y0? Naturally, as the expression says that this is yn equal to a yn minus 1 plus xn. So y0 will be a y minus 1 plus x0, and suppose for the simplicity that the initial condition of this system is 0. Just for the simplicity, you can assume that the initial condition of the system is 0, and when I am saying that the system is initially relaxed, then y minus 1 is equal to 0. This may or may not be the condition. Here just for the simplicity I am propagating it in this way. So what will be the y1? Simply from this argument it will be a y0 plus x 1, and if you simply substitute the value of y0 from here, what you will obtain? This will be a, and y0 is a y minus 1. Okay, let us substitute it in this way, x0 plus x1. Am I right? So this is a square y minus 1 plus a x0 plus x1. Okay. Then you can evaluate y2. It will be a y1 plus x2. Okay. So simply by putting the value of y1, so a square y minus 1 plus a x0 plus x1 and plus x2. So this will be a cube y minus 1 plus a square x0 plus a x1 plus x2. Okay. If you simply propagate the same logic, what will be the expression for yn? If you observe, what will be the expression for yn? If this is the expression for y2, is it for y2? Then what will be the expression for yn? It will be a n plus 1. Okay, a 2 plus 1 plus y minus 1 plus, if you see, this is a square means a n x0, at the place of 2 here it is n, a n x0, then a n minus 1 x 1, sorry x1 flowing this way, a x n minus 1, and then a to the power 0 x n, means the last term is x n, like here it was x2. Okay, you can further make it compact. This term can be further made compact. If you write the compact summation form of it, it can be written as yn equals to a n plus 1 y minus 1 plus summation k equals to 0 to n a k x n minus k. Now, this is the explicit solution, equation of explicit solution of the system difference equation. Okay. Now, if you see that this solution contains two parts, one part is this and other part is this. This is the total solution, but it contains two parts. One part, the output of which comes out because of this initial condition. If we make input off, if we do not apply input, input is kept 0, even in this situation, if initial condition is present, we will get some output. And this response in the presence of initial condition and in the absence of input is called natural response of the system. This is called natural response of the system. Natural response of the system. Okay. We make this input off and we will find out what will be the yn in the presence of initial condition. This is called natural response, and we designate this response by ynn. So, ynn is function of given initial condition, and it will depend on the root of the characteristic equation of this system that we will see later. Okay. Now, if we make this initial condition or if we assume that system is initially relaxed, then the initial condition will be 0, and the output so obtained will depend only on the forcing function or input. Output will be the function of only input, and in that situation the output is known as forced response. This is called natural response and this is called forced response. And the overall output will be yn will be the summation of natural response and forced response. Okay. Now, how can you evaluate the natural response and forced response of any system? So, let us proceed for that. So, in general, we can say that a recursive system can be, a general class of recursive system can be written by the expression yn plus a1 y n minus 1 plus a n y n minus capital N equals to b0 x n plus b1 x n minus 1 plus going this way to bm x n minus m. This is a general class of recursive system described by a constant coefficient difference equation. These coefficients should be constant. They must be a constant. They should not be the function of n or xn or yn. They should be a constant. And this, the coefficient of yn should be 1. If it is not 1, it should be deliberately normalized to make 1. Okay. Now, how we evaluate the output of our natural and forced response of this kind of system. So, just to make it further simple, we take the situation when there is only single input. So, in this situation the system difference equation will be written as yn plus a1 yn minus 1 plus going this way an y n minus n equals to xn. Here we are assuming b0 to be equal to 1 just for the simplicity. It can be assumed any value also, but just for the simplicity b0 is assumed as 1. Now, to evaluate natural response, we put xn to be equal to 0. Okay. And we form a characteristic equation taking the z transform of the left hand side of the equation. So, if we take the z transform, it will be z is to the power 0 plus a1. What comes in the power of z is this value. Okay. Z is to the power minus 1. You will come how it is evaluated in the latter part of my lecture when I will describe you the z transform. So, this way it is an z is to the power minus n equals to 0. Okay. We are simply forming the characteristic equation of the system. Means what is we will evaluate the root of the system, and basically the natural response depends on the root of the characteristic equation. Okay. So, if you simply rearrange this equation, it will be Zn plus you can say that this will be okay, Zn plus a1 z is to the power n minus 1. Simply multiply z is to the power n both the sides, it will result into this. So, going this way up to an equals to 0. Okay. You see that this equation will have n distinct roots. Okay. And those roots are say z1, z2 up to zn. Okay. Suppose if it gives n distinct roots like this, then what will be the natural response of the system yn? It will be it will depend on these roots in this way. It will be k1 z is to the z1 to the power n plus k2 z2 to the power n plus going this way kn zn to the power n. Okay. Means natural response depends on the root of characteristic equation this way. We will evaluate the value of k1, k2 and kn by setting up the total equation, means yn equals to yfn plus ynn, and then we will substitute the initial condition in this equation, that what is the value of y minus 1 and what is the value of y minus 2, and then we will evaluate the constant of these equation k1, k2 and so on. Okay. You will see when I will solve the problem how we evaluate the constant in natural response, and the total response is found by setting up the equation of forced response and natural response. And how we evaluate the forced response of the system, since forced response depends on the applied input. So, we have a table which reflects the form of forced response, and basically first I should show the table which shows the form of natural response depending on the root of characteristic equation. Suppose if the root of characteristic equation were real and distinct, then the form of natural response will be kr to the power n. And if the root of characteristic equation are complex conjugate r e to the power j omega form of root we obtain, then the form of natural response will be r to the power n multiplied by k1 cos n omega plus k2 sin n omega. and if the roots are real and repeated, means r to the power p plus 1, then the form of natural response will be Rn multiplied by k0 plus k1n plus k2 n square plus kp n to the power p. And if roots are complex and repeated, means roots are of the form r e to the power j omega to the power p plus 1, then the form of natural response will be Rn cos n omega multiplied by a0 plus a1n plus a2n square plus ap n to the power p plus Rn sin n omega multiplied by b0 plus b1n plus b2n square plus bp n to the power p. So, if these are the root of characteristic equation, then this will be the form of general form of natural response. We will evaluate these constants by setting up the total equation, and we will see in the problems how can we evaluate these things. Now, if we are knowing the form of forcing function, means input, then what will be the form of forced response? What will be the form of forced response? You see, if we are applying a forcing function, a constant, so the forced response will be another constant C1. If we are applying some constant C0, the forced response will be some other constant C1. If we are applying input as alpha to the power n, the output will be alpha to the power n multiplied by some constant C, means forced response. When I am saying output, this is forced response. If input is cos n omega plus beta, the output will be C1 cos n omega plus C2 sin n omega. Forced response will be of this kind. If input is alpha n cos n omega plus beta, okay, if this is the input, then output will be alpha n C1 cos n omega plus C2 sin n omega. If input is n, then output will be C0 plus C1n. If input is n to the power p, the output will be of this form. This is the general form of the output. If input is n alpha n, the output will be alpha n C0 plus C1n. If input is n to the power p alpha n, the output will be of this form, forced response rather. Okay. If input is of this form, the output is of this form. We will set each and everything in our equation while solving the problem. And for some special cases, we have to see the note like this. Suppose if the forcing function is alpha to the power n, and if the right hand side, means the applied input, is also of the form alpha to the power n, if the forcing function and root of the characteristic equation, they are same, means of this form, where alpha is also the root of the characteristic equation and which is repeated p times. Suppose if we are obtaining a root alpha like this, and it is repeated only one time, repeated p times means repeated only one time, suppose, the forced response form must be multiplied by n to the power p. So, naturally the forced response in that situation will be multiplied by n, because the root alpha is repeated only one time. If it was repeated two times, then it has to be multiplied by n squares. Okay. So, this way we approach the problem. So, let us start solving some problem, then the things will be clear to you.